Hello folks, welcome to another episode of Let's Play Minecraft Resonant Rise. I'm your host Kieran Dave, the creator of the Resonant Rise mod pack and one of the maintainers. Especially while the other maintainer is on vacation, I am the one manning the helm. I'm the one releasing, and we just released a new version of the mod pack. And you know what that means? New toys. In particular, oh by the way, this is working really well. I had to do a couple things with it to make it balanced. We'll talk about that in a sec. But in particular, I had to update Ars Magica, and that means a whole bunch of new toys. Now, I had to do a little bit of work off camera to sort of get back into this. Like, basically, I had to like unlock all these things I already knew about, and blah 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 blah, and yada yada yada. It isn't too difficult, but it was. It's still a little bit confusing to me, like what exactly it wants me to do to unlock things. Like, what is going on with that right there? What is it? What am I missing? I don't know. What is it? Is there a hidden thing? I don't know. But yeah, so you know, once you click all these, they go away, except for that one. What is it? Anyways, I thought actually we could do a little bit of Ars Magica stuff. Because actually, I think I've mentioned this before. I've been working kind of hard on the subject. Let me come up here and I'll show you. Like you could see, I've got a ton of stuff. I actually respec'd, because I sort of had to unlock everything again. So we all respect and we all get to go through. And I sort of unlocked a bunch of stuff I know I want. For example, Transplace, Blink is here. Haven't used it yet, but I plan to. Random Teleport, all these things. I actually wanted to make some spells today. Radius, very excited about that. In fact, let's do one right now. Why not? Why not? Okay, so let's do, let's see. Projectile. Here's what I've been waiting for a long time. Grow. And I think I could do Radius. Yeah, there we go. Radius. And let's call this Bountiful Gesture. Oh, I mean, why not, right? We can always not change it later, I think. Let's toss in this. How about if we just call it Green Index Finger? Because we're like pointing, you know, it's like a green thumb, but for... There we go. Looking Quill. There we go. Green Index Finger. What does this take? What does it take to make Grow? Blank Room, Vinium Dust, Arrow, Snowball, Green Rune, Bone Meal, Witchwood Log. Wow. Fire Essence, Glowstone Bust, TNT. Let me go grab this stuff. And, yeah, and we'll be right back. And since I'm on my way over here, I thought I'd show you. I left this blood system running overnight. And we've got 500,000 LP locked in our network. I'm not sure why it's not clicking over. It's weird. Sometimes it gets a little bit spacey. But yeah, 500,000 LP in our network and growing. We're not actually anywhere close to actually filling this stuff up. It's pretty slick. Yeah, let's check up here. See, we're slowly getting there. We're about halfway full. So we're going to have another cool million LP in the network. Well, long before we're filled up. And then we can even do more. So I'm very excited about that. Doubling my LP size just for crafting even. Right, so let me just collect these objects. Blank Room, Vinium Dust, Arrow, Snowball. Should be super easy. I think I have everything lying around except for Fire Essence. Ooh, that one could be hard. We need Fire Essence, huh? Let me look into this. Okay, folks, I think to make this Fire Essence, it's actually not too hard. All I have to do is use my Essence Refiner and just kind of toss that in there. I think that that's actually all it'll take. It'll take a second for it to realize what's going on. Yeah, there it goes. It begins to spin. And it should just happen pretty darn fast because this is actually one of the more basic essences to make. I have everything else in inventory with the exception of snow. I just need to bounce over somewhere with snow to get that. Now, I think I have on my person a shovel of exceptional quality. So let's go ahead, pull out our Ars Magica book. So some things are not unbroken and some things work much better. I'm not really sure what's up with it, like why, but yeah, it's pretty easy for me now to just fly around and look for snow. You can see, I think, unfortunately, I'm using MapWriter now because I switched to Opus. So yeah, let's just look. Aha. Should be able to find some snow out here. I think I see some right there. Yeah, this snow is pretty easy. I just needed a little bit for a snowball. Yeah, let's just go ahead and grab that as well. Snowball. Wow, this shovel's a bit out of control. And then we can just pop home. if I wear this. If you recall, I set up a bunch of teleport points. So, pops home. Whoa, fell through the roof. There we go. Okay, so I think that that's everything that I need to go ahead and make this awesome spell. I'm excited. Are you excited? Because I gotta tell you, I'm genuinely... Oh, there we go. Just took a second to sync. I'm genuinely excited. Let's do one last check to make sure that we have what we need. Grow, speed, blank rune, vinium dust, arrow, snowball, green rune, bone meal, witchwood, log, fires. Vinium dust, arrow, yep. And, of course, TNT and spell parchment. Oh, I'm missing glowstone. The cropping kind of messed that up. Toss that in. Where did my glowstone go? There we go. My network is a little bit glitchy. I may need to consider doing things a little bit differently than I do right now because this is definitely a tricky thing. So one sec, folks. Archer.
Stop licking. No.
Right. Glowstone acquired. Let's go ahead and make this spell. Should be a simple spell, but very, very useful for a few reasons. The flight spells don't seem to work right. Sorry about that. I wish that they did. I really wish that they did. And let's just make sure that after the update, we didn't mess anything up here. Yeah, let's just check that right there. Yeah, so that's still bound to the right thing, which should be this over here, which should have a lot of energy in it. So let's go ahead and get started with this. So I think we just toss a blank rune, some vinium dust, an arrow, a snowball, just one, a green rune, some bone meal, a witchwood log, a fire essence, glowstone dust, TNT. I can't even imagine why. I guess that's for the radius modifier. And then finally, a blank spell parchment. Yay! Okay, so let's go ahead and name this. What do we want this? How about... That looks pretty good right there. Yeah, let's do that. Green index finger. Okay, so let's see how this works. I'm hoping that this is pretty awesome. Let's not cast it at full mode to start. Let's hop over here. Man, is it really raining? It is really sincerely raining. All right, so how about over here, where we cleared out all of this? Okay, apparently there's a chance for the spell not to work now. So yeah, that's interesting. Looks like it just did one. Interesting. Now what we really want to do is take this over to some sand, because evidently this will let me grow desert novas. There's not many desert biomes on the server. So let's try casting this at a bigger mode and see what happens. Looks like this is not doing much better. What I'm trying to do here, folks, is make some desert novas. That's definitely my goal. It's interesting. This spell seems to not do what I had hoped, which was be a radius around a projectile point, but rather just do one thing. That's a bit of a bummer. Let me find a drier biome, and then I'll be right back and we can try this, because what I really need to do is get some desert novas for the next part of the build. And I don't think that that they will appear here unless Hey, Spider! Where did you even come from, Spider? Well, I got bad news for you, buddy. Blood sword. Blood sword. All right, folks, give me just a second, and I'm going to see if I can conjure up... Man, that's just really not going to... I feel a little disappointed in this spell. I feel like I worked pretty hard for this spell. This spell's way late in the game, and yet doesn't really do very much. Like, so far we've got, like, something that gives us white dye. That's not a problem. Wow, different kinds of white dye, even. That's exciting. Alright, folks, I'll be right back, and I'll see what we can do. Alright, folks, well, I've deposited my my Desert Nova. I'm going to have to think about how to do that. I think that probably the mistake is trying to cast that spell by hand is just not probably the right call. Right? What I really want to do is I want to move it up to a situation where I am casting that spell via a caster. So what that makes me think is that I'm looking at my list of things to do here, right? I need a wood farm, an auto farm, I need a flower farm, right? So obviously I need all these things. I probably should think about a farm. And I've actually never built a Steve's Carts farm before, which is funny. And it's funny. I think of it. I have such a huge level of automation. I mean, look at this. I got all this stuff. I got like an ME network. I got like multiple things. I got N tier. I got the boiling blood barf drive down there. I got all this stuff, and yet when it comes time to eat, I still run out over here, punch a set of potatoes, and then go out and put it back over here in the calefactor. Well, now that's not so bad because, as you may know, I think I mentioned you put a food in a light nexus if it's cookable, and it actually doubles the food for you, which is amazing. You can see there we even got more than that. That's awesome. So, oh no, we got 6, but we also get Vintium dust occasionally from that. So yeah, pretty amazing. Well, wow, not what I wanted to do. But yeah, so, ooh, look I love that particle effect when the light stuff comes in from the light nexus. That's so cool. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so we're sitting here on this all this stuff. But we don't have a basic farm. So I think maybe that's what I'm going to do next. That said, I got to tell you that the prospect of going through and, let's see, making like a woodcutter, right? With these woodcutting cores, basic woodcutter, right? Like, oh my god. These hardened saw blades with the reinforced, it's the reinforced metal, which is so before I start in the farm, crazy as it sounds, I am going to do a little bit of crafting automation. I thought about making a cool thing with like cyclic crafters from thermal expansion. I think they're cyclic assemblers. I'm sorry. Cyclic assemblers. Yeah, here we go. These things are cool, and they let you basically build recipes. That's awesome. But I have this ME network, and I've been talking about it for a while, so I thought maybe I'd just build a big crafting chamber. I could build it right into the wall right here. I think would be pretty cool because this is right below my ME core, right? So just right in the wall here, doesn't get in the way of my altars. I can still expand that way for more altars and that way for more altars. So it seems to me like a good fit. The only thing is I go and I look, and what I want to do is build a pretty big one. And if I actually look at the quartz situation, I have 272 Certus quartz, which is kind of pushing it. So, I thought, I could go mining. And it occurred to me, crazy as this sounds, I've never shown you guys how I actually mine. And that's funny to me because the way I mine is actually kind of interesting. And I've alluded to it before, but I've never actually walked through the setup I use. And then I was talking on the Feed the Beast forums about it. And I thought it might be fun to actually show you how I mine for Certus quartz before we go through. And then we'll maybe build the assembly chamber on screen. So let me just go ahead and toss away some things here, because one of the things about the mining methods that I use is you really do want to make sure you have a nice empty inventory. Looks like my system is cycling a little bit, no problem. So let's see, what else do we got here that we don't want? Probably don't want that. My server's been a little bit laggy, I think in part because right now I think I'm on an upcycle. I probably need to I'm on an upcycle. So I need to re-engineer this. You remember that when the system starts to get low, I think it's currently set to at 60% energy, it goes back up to 90% energy. When the system gets low, it turns on all the engines, and which means that occasionally this thing flutters, has a cutoff of 64 buckets. So when that happens, it uses this level emitter. That's not awesome because when it uses the level emitter, it sort of reboots my network. So I probably need to re-engineer that to be more clever. I think I have a plan, but it's going to be a little tricky. Yeah, it's blinking. Right, so I think I have everything I need, and I think it's all set up. So let me head off to the new mining age. I'll meet you there, and I can show you a little bit of what my mining technique looks like these days. So I'll be right back. All right, folks, so here I am in Aiko's lovely second mining age, which, as you can see, is just a really, really pretty place. It's dark now, so I won't be lingering too long on stuff you probably can't see too well on YouTube, but it's great. It's got reds. I'm not sure if you can see the red stars, but it's a wonderful place for a blood mage to mine. Now, people have asked me how I go about mining, since I don't, I haven't turned on the automatic mining system that I built in a while. I actually want to turn it back on, but it got broken in a server update, and it hasn't been correct since. Let me go ahead and show you, though, what I've been doing, because I really am not want for resources. Let me show you how I did it, because I promised myself in this playthrough I would not turn on a quarry, and I really haven't. With one exception, I helped someone test a quarry. Let's go ahead and turn on our Sigil of Phantom Bridge and see if that will keep up with us as we fly along here. And ho ho ho, Santa hat. Huh. Let's just turn this off. We can keep going a little bit faster. I just pick a random place. And let's just start digging the first initial shaft that we want to get down to, right? Let's just dig down. This is a nice thing about this is nice and fast shovel, and similarly my pick is just outrageously fast. Maybe not Vajra fast. Oh, as you're digging down, it is of course wise to make sure that you don't get hurt by lava. So I turn on my Sigil of Elemental Affinity so that even if I do fall in lava, it doesn't matter. Now, of course, I'm burning a lot of blood as I shoot down here, but as we've seen, I've pretty much solved that problem. Oh, yes. Fantastic. Now, why isn't that going? An interesting thing. So let me show you a fun thing here. This is my mining backpack 1.0. I have a little bit of loot in here that I haven't got rid of, but the key to mining in this environment is to make sure that you have item cards. Now, the most normal one, I don't know why this isn't picking up because there's copper right there, but let's go ahead and pull that up and put that in the bag and see if that fixes it. I've always had a problem with copper and I can't tell why. We have these forge item cards, the blue ones. Now, you'll know it's just different types of ore. Because the world gen on this is so old, we gotta, have some more different types of ore picked up. So this is my solution to that. It's a wonderful solution from Darkcraft. Similarly, you'll notice that I have some doubly compressed cobblestone. Well, I actually have 2 item cards in here just to manage cobblestone. This one sucks up cobblestone and turns into singly compressed cobblestone from extra utilities. So that's each block becomes 9 blocks. You can craft it back out. Pretty cool. But then, of course, we double down on that. And I could eventually triple down on that if I wanted to with this compressed cobble 2x, which, as you might guess, actually takes the compressed cobblestone and compresses it again. And that happens pretty much instantly. Right? It's not like absolutely instant, but it's pretty fast. So let's go ahead and toss that back in. And then, of course, I just have item cards, just like you would in any Darkcraft setup, that like to kind of rig things, right? So, yeah, easy, easy, easy. Let's just see if me tossing that in fixed it. And by the way, sorry about the NEI. I've been trying to get to the bottom of some performance things, so I was running Opus. All right, so I was not... Like I said, if I was cheating, I'd have more stuff by now. Right, so let's go ahead and make sure this is on. What Y level are we at? Looks like we're a little too high for my taste at 37. Let's go down to 30. Okay, there we go. Now it's sucking it up. That's better. Okay. So here we are at Y30. Perfect. Now, all I have to do is spam beast mode and then let the Darkcraft bag do the rest. I warn you, it's a little crazy. Yep. A little crazy. I wanted to show you what I see because it's pretty outrageous. Yeah. Now, of course, whenever you see, so I'm looking specifically for quartz, I'm going to go attacking that. This pick has Fortune 3, thanks to Echo's help. So that's definitely what I want to do. But as you can see, our inventory is basically clear. There's a couple stuff I could add to the card, but basically clear. And we got 22 Certus. That's pretty op. I don't know. Actually, I would argue that it's not op because... there's a couple downsides. For one, this happens. This nonsense happens, right? Which everybody laughs when they see it. For two, there's a bug right now where there's breakable bedrock in the world, so it's kind of dangerous. Once you get a little bit lower, turn on your Phantom Bridge Sigil, just so that you don't fall, because the drop from this bound pickaxe is more than a little abusive. But yeah, now you might say, hey Dave, it's getting dark, I can't see. No problem. I have a Rod of Vision, which I can spam a few times to give me pretty good night vision. That, of course, is force infusible from Darkcraft, so no problem there. And now, of course, we can basically just be a wrecking ball, right? This is just, it's outrageous how much... yeah, as you can see, we pretty much clear all of the ores. Right. More here. You don't have to do it every single time, but as you can see, it's pretty amazing to just be able to tear right through it without regard for any problems whatsoever, right? This is just, it's the absolute end of all ores in the area. And it's pretty nice to be able to just absolutely terrorize the environment this way. Now, of course, it can be a little tricky. It's also how I mine for dark iron, which is how this subject originally came up in the Feed the Beast forums. Was they're like, how do you get dark iron? And I'm like, I don't know about you, but I know how I get dark iron. I do this ridiculous thing over and over again on camera, completely blasting everyone's eyes. And as you can see, the amount of resources we process and handle is just stunning. Look at this. We've already gotten, now we're not at the right height for gold, but we've already gotten stacks of iron and all these sorts of things. I'm actually going to need to get another one of these bags. I had one and then I died falling through bedrock using this technique, which I felt was sort of like, you know, you get your comeuppance. But, you know, I can easily remake it. It's not too hard. I automatically compress a whole bunch of different things, and some things I just leave out of my inventory because I intend to get rid of them. So let's see. For example, let's turn this off for a sec, pop off, get a little bit lower, and let's get this gold, because we always need gold. Never not needing gold. Right. And if we just make our way through here, you just kind of pick out the things you want, follow the veins if they're at all interesting. That's a pretty big gold vein for the new ore gen. This is all new, fresh ore gen, so that's a pretty nicely sized vein. And then, boom goes the dynamite. Now, there's one other thing I'm doing here, which you may not have noticed. As I get down to redstone level there, I'm sure I grabbed some redstone. Give it a sec to clear. Is I actually compress the redstone too, because you just absolutely have to. Right, it's outrageous if you don't. You'll run afoul of just having too much stuff. But yeah, so that was a mining trip. That's about all the time I devote to mining these days, if I do go manual mining. Now, of course, I did just spend a lot of LP. I didn't do this quite this aggressively before I got the system set up. Once I got the system set up, I was like, you know what? I don't have to care anymore, right? Like, I can just do this and nothing can stop me. So I'm pretty happy about that. I'm sure some people would think this is OP. Consider, though, the amount of work that's gone into letting me spam that is easily, like, this is much more work than a quarry. Like, the reality is that, like, if you want to get stuff fast with minimal investment, the quarry is still the way to go. But if you're interested in a method that actually has a higher yield, well, then this is definitely your high yield method. I mean, no doubt, right? That's enormous. Where's the book? There it is. But yeah, so, you know, for the time it takes to actually build it, that's not a bad haul, I think. So, folks, let me get back to the world and drop this stuff off and get it processing. We should have what we need now. Yeah, look, we've got 60. Wow, look at that. We got a stack and a quarter. That's fantastic. So that's exactly what we were looking for. And a fair sum of gold, a lot more iron. You can see why I'm getting so much iron, because I just wreck through the landscape. Tin, we got tons of. A fair amount of ferrous, too. That's not bad. Usually I get a lot less of that. So many of these sapphires, too. Emeralds weren't getting picked up for some reason. Not sure. Hi, folks. All right, so everything's cooking up. I have tons of quartz now. As you can see, 352. I have more Certus quartz than nether quartz. How that happens, I don't know. But what I do need to think about doing is actually getting my auto crafting, at least the basics of it, online. I don't necessarily need to get machines automated, but I really want the crafting chamber. So let's go ahead and take a look at what it would take to make a craft. Let's see. Actually, I forget the name for it. So applied. Here we are. So we want to get some heat vents, some crafting CPUs, some assembler contain. Yeah, that's what we want. The assembler containment field. Containment wall. Yeah, this is the frame on the outside. So we're going to obviously want a bunch of this stuff, right? So let's see. Let me just grab one and a little bit of cobblestone. I can't quite think offhand what I want to do with this. So let me just go ahead and kind of knock this wall that I was originally working on out. Yeah. Right. Get rid of all that stuff. It's in my way. Okay, so I'd like to put it in here, and I'd like to actually set it into the ground. I'm thinking like 4 by 4. So there's, you know, 2 by 2 internal is not a bad place to start. That's canvas there. So, but I think we can even go bigger than that. Like, we could actually fill out this whole area. So we'd want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That could be good. Yeah. 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, I have a stack, right? So I can just do basic subtraction if I'm capable of that anyways. And that'll give us 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so we'd actually want to go 1 deeper. Yeah. Well, folks, let me go ahead and make those containment walls and make sure I have the amount I need. Once I have the frame and the heat vents put together, we'll start to put this together, put this in play. Because yeah, I would like it a little bit bigger than that on the inside. And I think the way I could do that is to sink it into the floor. Yeah, definitely. All right, folks, I'll be right back, and I'll repair the floor, and we'll see what we can do. All right, folks, I've been crafting for a little bit, and I had to make a bit of a glass run. But ta-da, it's mostly built. I thought about it a little bit, and I think I'd like to go for a pretty balanced. I've never actually needed a crafting CPU this big before, so I'm sort of happy to like just have something this size. But this is 6 pattern providers, which is 6 pages of patterns, and 6 crafting CPUs, which is probably way overkill, but I think that it's going to make it so that we can craft a lot of stuff very quickly, which I have some builds in mind that might actually do it. Da-da, and it came on, and it should have hooked up right over there. Yeah, I think so. So we have 6 pages of that. We could go in and change that out if we wanted to, but I feel like that's a pretty good return. Let's see. It looks like we didn't quite get it hooked up, so let's see if we can find some cable. Just a couple pieces should do. I may want to use a piece of dark cable here just to be able to like turn this off while I'm gone. So let's see. Let's go ahead and cut into the wall here. Oh yeah, we're really close, but not quite there. We see that's where the blood gets fed into the altar. Da 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 da. I kind of feel like we could make it prettier than that. Let's see. How about right here? There we go. That looks cooler. Now, I think I'm kind of outgrowing this space down here. I'm going to extend it out this way and out this way, which I really haven't gone yet. So this area will get much larger. But as you can see, we now have an ME crafting system. Now, I think the episode's getting a little long. It's kind of longer than I intended. We started doing chores and sort of ended up in a situation where we got a lot more stuff than we meant to do. But it's good. It's good. I mean, I've been doing these kind of really, really purpose-driven episodes, so it was kind of nice to just, you know, fart around. I am recording this Christmas Day. So happy Christmas to those of you who are into Christmas, and for those who are not, enjoy the spectacle of us all freaking out. But there are these Christmas presents, and you know what? I run this freaking server, so I'm going to take some Christmas presents. I'm going to take some of this, I'm going to take some of this, a little bit of this, if the server will give it to me. Boy, it's just been... I think my network is actually what's the problem. This is not... If you look at the TPS, COFH TPS, it's not bad. I mean, it's a pretty busy server. There's like multiple fusion reactors and big reactors and all sorts of things going on. My power system. So it's not surprising that we're like at 40 with folks like Bevo and Echo on. But it does just seem really laggy. Oh, by the way, I'm making glass. Did you know that this doubles sand? I was like, wait, does it double sand? It does. That's incredible. It triples it sometimes. I don't even know what to think about that. That's nuts. Right, those calefactors, I am very excited about those. Anyways, the reason that I grabbed these 4 diamond blocks was to upgrade this guy. Since I'm going to be using ours a lot more, I think, and I'm excited to, actually, I thought I would upgrade this. Now, this is the 2nd highest tier, and I will probably go for the highest tier soon. Because there's one more thing I'd like to do this episode, is set up in a bit of an experiment. There is a new system in Ars Magica called the Sigil system. This sigil system seems pretty cool to me. What it does is let you make these sigil stands. Sigil, here we are. Let's see if we can craft one of these up real fast. Yeah, we can go ahead and put this right here. Right, and so these sigil stands allow you to have sigils and put them in. And there's all sorts of interesting sigils. Let me pull out my book and I can show you what I mean by this. Pull that out, go back here, let's see. Structures. Where is it? Where is it? Magic sigils. There we are. So there's a bunch of these sigils, like Sigil of the Gentle Rains, which basically causes soil to be hydrated. Sigil of the Felled Oak, which periodically harvests trees. Sigil of Containment. Sigil of Interdiction. Sigil of Nature's Bounty, causes all plants within 4 blocks to grow faster. And supposedly, according to this compendium, if you take a sigil stand and you surround it with whatchamacallit, a list or one of those inlays, then you can end up with something really awesome, like an upgraded sigil. So I'm thinking that maybe we should do a little test with this, and let's see if we can make a sigil of the felled oak. Maybe we could do something really awesome, like have it so that the sigil of the felled oak. Oh, this is really easy. Do we have one of these? Do we have a green? No, we don't. I could go grab some cactus real quick. If we could use this R's technique to cut down trees, that'd be pretty cool, I think. Like, I'm excited about this Steve's Cart's Tree Farm, but there's a couple of challenges that I'm not sure how I'm going to get around with these Steve's Cart's Tree Farms. Specifically, what I really am concerned about is that I want to have multiple sapling types for witchery, which I'm about to get started on. And I can't do that easily without, let's see if we can toss this in here. We're making a lot of these things here. Let's go ahead and toss this back in here. I realized I was out of glass, so I sort of went crazy on getting sand. I never want to run out of glass again. I want to have lots of saplings, and in order to make sure that I have a diversity, I'm going to have something that can plant multiple sapling types and harvest multiple sapling types. So I definitely want to take care of that. So let's see, sigil. I'm not sure how I'm going to get Steve's Carts to do that. Like, I don't think it can plant specific types of things, right? Like, it has to sort of go crazy. Oh, and we need a, that's no problem. Let's go ahead and do it. I'll do it. Right. So I don't know how this is gonna work, right? I don't know. So let's get a vacuum hopper in case it doesn't put things in the... Oh, wait. There's something else I could use. Magic broom. That's right. Ours now has its own version of the vacuum hopper called the magic broom. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but let's, we're here to give it a try. Why not, right? Hopefully I won't crash the server in the process. Okay, there we go. Magic broom. No problem. Fantastic even. And let's just grab a chest, because I think the magic broom, what it does, I'll show you, but it lets you, like, let's just get a sapling. The magic broom is there to basically suck things up in an area around you, or around where it's placed, and put them into a designated inventory. I think if you just shift click it on the ground, it'll just naturally do exactly that. Now, I think what we'd like to do is test and see if it'll even do multiple tree types. So let's go ahead and put this spruce sapling right here. And I can reach into my bag of tricks here. This Sigil the Green Grow, by the way, underrated part of Way's mod. One of the really the most powerful things he's got. Okay, there we go. Sigils. I wonder if it could... Whoa! Are you a zombie near me? I thought that we had gotten rid of all of you. Huh. I guess we're on the very edge of the protection of that that torch. There's a fair way over to the gateway. Okay, well, anyway, sorry. Just so surprised. Okay, we can turn this off. It's actually quite expensive to run. Let's place down this sigil. That stand is so cool. And let's go ahead and place this on. Now, it doesn't need power. I'm sure of that. It's just going to work by virtue of being a very expensive object. You can see it's slowly spinning there. I don't know if that's too dark for YouTube, but ooh, that's cool looking. Ooh. And yeah, and then let's put down a chest just to be safe. Let's put it down right here. Let's turn off our magnet so we can see it in action, right? And let's put down a, supposedly this will do trees within a 4 radius, so pretty close. Let's go ahead and put down there we go, the broom. He now, it's just, look at how cool that is. That's so cute. If I throw something out, you can see he actually whisks it right in there, right? So I'm not sure how well this is going to work, but I'm pretty sure this area is chunk loaded. I'll make sure it is. And I'm going to let it run for an hour or two and then come back and check on it and see how fast it goes. If it tears down this forest, if it does anything at all. With brand new stuff, you just never know if it's going to be bugged or not. The ideal situation would, of course, be that all the trees here end up in this chest, or at least get harvested, and we can then work on the other problem, right? But I don't know how long it's going to take. Supposedly, it's not fast, but it could be really useful for us if we could find a way to speed it up. Let's just find out if it works at all first. Right, so folks, I think with that, we're going to call this an episode. Like I said, today's being recorded Christmas Day. So for those of you who, I guess it would come out the day after for most folks and everybody basically, I hope you had a happy holiday if you celebrated. If not, I hope that the spectacle of half of the Western world being ridiculous about a day and being very commercial was fun for you. Personally, I had a good time because my wife is a delightful cook and an amazing hostess, and she put on a heck of a party that we really had fun with. What happened here? Did something blow up? What the heck? What could have... Oh, and all my cursed earth is gone. What the heck happened here? Something gnarly happened here, and I don't know what it is, and I'm not happy about this. Well, folks, looks like I have a little bit of repairs to effect. If you like what you saw today, and I understand today was a bit more of a whimsical episode, please leave a like or a subscribe, or even better, a comment. Because honestly, I'm not that big a fan of likes, actually. I much prefer an actual conversation with a real person to sort of a faceless like. That said, I love your likes. Keep them coming. But, yes, this is nuts. I wonder why this happened. I wonder what kind of terrible monster did this. Because this really cuts into my blood production. You monsters, you make my life difficult. We're going to have to use stronger materials than mere stone. Well, folks, there you go. You've seen something new. Anyways, as I was saying, please leave subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw today. Just engage with me. I would love to hear from you. Even if you don't like what I'm doing, tell me that you don't like it. Still on the fence about whether I'm going to move my base. Keep talking to me. We'll see what we can do about that. I hope you all join me next time.